Okay, hey! Here we go. Let things be exactly as they are. You can't change me, and you can't change God. Let things be exactly as they are, and you and me will live in peace. Well, I don't know, I really don't know what anything is for, unless I listen to that still small voice telling me this simple truth, that everything is for my good. So let things be exactly as they are. You can't change me, and you can't change God. No, you can't change God. Let things be exactly as they are, and you and me will live in peace. I'm not this body that you see. I am as God created me. We are all one family, and it's possible to live in peace. So let things be exactly as they are. You can't change me, and you can't change God. Let things be exactly as they are, and you and me will live in peace. Kumbaya. Oh, thank you. Hi, Jill. I'm so glad to see ya. And Shauna, thank you so much for always just, admitting with such grace and kindness. And I just, you know, as I always say, I know, hugs. Let's hug ourselves. Come on, Jill, hug yourself. And as Cindy says, I love us. So, it's just lovely to be here. And if you're listening later on YouTube, thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Wow, I have so much to share with you. We'll see what we'll see what all happens during this hour. Today I wasn't in the sanctuary because I had a lunch date with friends of mine from 30 years. Like, we've known each other for 30 years, and I haven't seen them since their wedding, which was only a couple of years ago. But anyway, it just reminded me of what family truly is, and I feel that way towards you guys, of course, and it's like, it's not even, I was going to say it's like being on the same page, but sometimes it's not even being on the same page, but just that your love for each other just, um, encompasses everything. Like it doesn't matter if you're, on the same page with every little thing. You know what I mean? And, it was so, it was such an amazing, lunch date because they gave me this big, huge surprise that I was never expecting. And, yeah. And they said, well, we're giving this to you because you're family. It's so sweet. It's so sweet. And so for many, 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 many years, um, I felt like an alien in my own birth family. Thus the song Alien Love Child, which I will sing at some point for you. Um, but even that has shifted. So something is shifting in me, or else the rest of it couldn't shift, right? So, quickly, me and my brother have never been really close or anything like that. But, since Glenn died, um, he has been like the best brother I could ever imagine. And all of these years are just, it doesn't matter, like what happened in the past. Like, and he's come up here to Vermont, well, once in New York City and then once to Vermont to help me with business matters and things like that, and flew in from North Carolina. And I'm just like, wow, wow. You know, with our history, quote unquote, you would never think that that would happen, you know? But with a shift in perspective and with love leading the way, um, all of that negative history or whatever it just dissipated. Wow. And so I'm looking at those folks who are in my life and I'm embracing them. Total miracle, absolutely. Total miracle, absolutely. And in my embracing of those folks in my life, like right now here, in the present in my life right now, um, I realize that in the past I've been arrogant and um, what do you want to say? Uh, you know, a superior attitude, perhaps, or get out of my way. I'm going to make my life happen no matter what. That kind of is sort of thing. Um, and now it's all about embracing and welcoming, even if we don't agree with every little thing and blah, 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 blah. And I guess that's the theme of today, really, because Anne lately I'm in Anne's mentoring group, and we've been talking about the welcoming prayer by Thomas Keating, which I'm going to share with you guys here in a little bit. And we had a whole, hi Arizona. Arizona was with me on Wednesday night, on our Wednesday night group. We went through a whole process that Anne shared with us, surrounding this welcoming prayer, which is about surrender to what is, and so since doing that process, woo, wow, have I seen my perspective shift. I think I saw that Tina was in the house, right? Is Tina in? Yay! Hi, Tina. I know you said you were sort of relaxing, and I'm so glad you're here. Um, so, welcoming and surrender. welcoming and surrender, whatever it is, welcoming it and surrendering to it. So, I've been enjoying myself lately. Last night, so the past three, I feel like I've been on a spiritual retreat, kind of all by myself. Not really all by myself. I mean, but here in my place alone in Vermont with my cats because it's snowy and it's cold. And so last night, and I've been watching all these really cool YouTube videos by this guy named Andre. Duquam, I think it is Duquam. It's a podcast called Know Thyself. If you want to look it up on YouTube, it's very, very cool. All kinds of, spiritual teachers from different, multiple perspectives and stuff like that. And for the past few days, it's been really super cold here, and I've just been watching these videos in succession, and I'm just feeling so alive and so awesome and everything like that. And so I'm sitting here last night, and last night it went down to 9 degrees. And yes, I do have all my utilities in place. So I do have, heat, hot water, electricity. Finally, after a whole summer of, trying to get all this stuff to happen. Yeah. So I'm sitting here kind of in bliss. I'm watching these videos and my cats are snuggling up to me, and I've got all the candles, lit on the altar and all of this. And I'm just feeling so great. And all of a sudden, boom, the power goes out. Now I think that I know it's crazy. And yeah, it just is so crazy. So I think that happened to me one day. Actually, it did happen one day while I was here in the sanctuary broadcasting at this time, and Rosemary Lohr was my musical guest, and all of a sudden the power just went out. So it's funny to see that I have found myself in a geographical location at the top of a mountain where electronic communication is iffy sometimes, and my power is iffy sometimes. And so what do I do about that? Well, there's a lot of practical things I can do that I didn't realize, like I can get a generator, my neighbor has a generator, stuff like that. But emotionally, I have not been prepared for such a thing. I mean, I was born and raised in middle class America and blah 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 and everything, and like lived in New York for actually 30 years of my life, and I always lived in an apartment building where somebody else took care of everything, and if the power went off, then they got on it and made it come back on, whatever. I've never had to directly deal with any of these types of things before in my life. And of course, Glenn not being around to be, the fix-it man, is good. I can't believe I'm saying this. Oh my God, and you know how much I love you, my sweet husband. However, as I move through all of this emotion, I realize I'm learning a whole bunch of new stuff, My heart is opening up in a way that it never has before. And so, boom, the lights went out last night. I'm just like nonplussed. I'm just sort of like, well, this happens sometimes. Thank you, God. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And, let me surrender to it. So So I get my guitar out and I play this song in the candlelight, which was kind of fun. In my defenselessness, my safety lies, and this awakening comes as a big surprise. In my defenselessness, my safety lies, my safety lies. Oh, my safety lies. When I feel threatened by this changing world, it shifts a fortune and its bitter jests. The world is illusion with guilt and with shame, defense and attack over and over again. Yeah. But I'm not the victim of the world I see. I am the power of let it be. Yeah, let it be. In my defenselessness, my safety lies, and this awakening comes as a big surprise. In my defenselessness, my safety lies, my safety lies. Oh, my safety lies. And so I look past my dreams today, and all my fears I gladly toss away, 'cause I am surrendered and I stand secure. Deep in the stillness, weakness disappears. I listen to the voice for love that guides my path. Hallelujah. Hallelujah, yeah. Well, hallelujah. Last time, here we go. In my defenselessness, my safety lies, and this awakening comes as a big surprise. In my defenselessness, my safety lies, my safety lies. Whoa, my safety lies. In my defenselessness, my safety lies. Yeah! Oh my goodness, my goodness, my goodness. I am so grateful to Spirit for giving me that song. And, oh, thank you, Jim. I just love that song. I just like, deep in the stillness, I stand secure. Wow. I listen to the voice for love that guides my path. Hallelujah. Oh, gosh. There's a strength, such a strength in letting it go. There really is. There's such a strength to surrender. Wow. Wow. I never knew this until now. And, okay, so I'm going to ring us in and create with you what I like to call the Circle of Love prayer. And I'm going to read the welcoming prayer during our Circle of Love prayer. And then after that, I'm going to play a video of my dear friend Doreen. Y'all remember Doreen, I think. You've seen her on many videos and in person. She's singing one of my songs called Freedom. And I just love the way she delivers this. And I think it really blends in with what we're talking about. And then after that, I'm going to share with you one of Glen's booklets from 2016. His commentary on A Course in Miracles. I think it's chapter 30. We'll look at it. And this is something... well, long story short, my computer crashed, and I've had all kinds of things going on over here. My precious kitties came running in here and pulled all the cords out of my computer and knocked my hard drive on the floor and just crashed the whole thing. Obviously, I'm back and running on the laptop here. On the desktop here. But I lost on the hard drive 20 years of Glen's teachings. So I'm getting them restored. There's a data recovery place close by, and hopefully I'll get everything restored. But I looked through his Google Drive and I found some of them. So beginning in 2025, I want to begin to highlight his work and his commentary, and hopefully at some point I'll be able to publish a book of his commentary. So these are things I want to share with you today. But first, let me read this. There's a particular commentary on the welcoming prayer itself that I wanted to read to you before we do the prayer. When we welcome what is in our life, it doesn't mean that we don't want or need change or growth. It means that we accept what comes our way and invite God into it. In His presence, we bring to Him our needs, our desires, our thoughts, our emotions, and our circumstances. Instead of fighting these things and those around us, we welcome them and God in them so that we can be transformed as we consent to His presence in all areas of our lives. To fight against our reality, to demand and to grasp onto our desires, is one way of denying that God alone is our source of life, that God is our source for love and power. Ooh, do you guys know that song? God is my source, God is my power, God is everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God is everything I need. That's what that reminded me of. Oh gosh, I love that song. All right, so let's go into the stillness. As we gather here today in this sanctuary and later on YouTube, together right now in this moment, we are co-creating a circle of unconditional love where everything that we like and everything that we do not like is welcomed. Welcome. 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 I welcome everything that comes to me today because I know it's for my healing. I welcome all thoughts, feelings, emotions, persons, situations, and conditions. I let go of my desire for power and control. I let go of my desire for affection, esteem, approval, and pleasure. I let go of my desire for survival and security. I let go of my desire to change any situation, condition, person, or myself. I open to the love and presence of God and God's action within. I surrender to God. I surrender to love. I surrender to sacred mystery. I surrender to the voice that likes me. Blessed be. And so it is.
You know my soul is singing. You know my soul is singing. Charge of your life? Do you make it your own? Do you follow your heart? This moment is your home. Do you see love all around you? Let compassion fill your soul. Feeling all of your sensations. We are free and we are whole. And so our thoughts create our freedom. Freedom. Rock with me, baby. Rock with me, baby. Yeah. Freedom. Rock with me, baby. Yeah. to pass. Try living in the flow, in the state of well-being. Don't you worry about tomorrow. You just stay in the now. All is good if you can see it. It all works out somehow. Freedom. Whoa. Rock with me, baby, for freedom. Freedom. Whoa. You know our thoughts create our freedom. Freedom. Rock with me, baby. Rock with me, baby. Yeah. Freedom. Rock with me, baby. You know those songs. I know y'all get those songs, Yolanda. I know you get those songs. I know I get those songs. Okay, we do. We get those songs. What I want us to all do is come together and support and love one another so we can change our lives and we can create Doreen Younglove.
Don't you just love it? Oh my goodness. My fabulous sister Doreen. I know. Yay, love her. Beautiful song. Thank you, Jill. Thank you. Wow. And Tina's like, wow. Yeah. Yes. Oh, we make room for freedom. When we accept things as they are, we make room for freedom. Isn't that interesting? We create space. We allow ourselves. And so this welcoming, this surrender that I've been talking about, to me is what the Course talks about as forgiveness. So I'm going to pull up Glen's booklet here. And in this booklet, Glen is looking at chapter 30 in the text of A Course in Miracles. Chapter 30 is entitled The New Beginning, and he's looking here at section 6, which is called The Justification for Forgiveness. Very, very interesting. Now, Glen, in his booklets, he would use images, that he would find on Google. He would pray and ask Spirit to show him images to use, and then he would write an explanation. So I'm going to read the explanation first, because I think a lot of times his explanation of the images that he uses is a great summary of what the chapter is actually talking about. So he says, we continually look within to find what is stopping us from sharing ourselves with others. Now, see, that brings me to the purpose of the Course, to find the blocks to love's awareness. And so to do that, we have to look within, and to find those blocks and surrender them. When we forget that we're doing this, we often believe that someone or something else is doing this. Now, that was an interesting statement. When we forget that it's us that's looking within, that we're actually searching, within, sometimes we're not aware, that we're doing this sort, like I see my life as a trajectory of looking for the blocks to love's awareness and surrendering them to God. Now, I wasn't thinking that particular thing for most of my life, but it was happening anyway. And what I was thinking as I've been traveling through my life is that this one did something to me and that one did something to me. And I, most of the time, I have to say, I would go through those experiences and find a way to get past them through what I would call it in the past, my own personal strength, but actually it was God's strength. So what I was doing was, I really was unconsciously looking for those blocks so I could overcome them, so that God would make a way. So a phrase that I use so much is, God makes a way where there is no way. God makes a way where there is no way. And before I was really conscious about being on the spiritual path, before I went to seminary and blah, 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 and met you guys and all of that, I lived through a rock and roll lifestyle, like, blah, where things happened to me and people did things and all of that, And now I see that without all of those things occurring, I couldn't certainly be where I am right now, and so that whole unconscious path was even directed by God. That's kind of, how I see it. Which, how marvelous is that? How absolutely marvelous is that? And so that's what I think God is, Glenn is referring to here. And then he goes on to say, we get distracted by trying to change other people and manipulate things to make us happy. It never works for long. Well, certainly for so much of my, quote unquote professional musical life, I've been trying to manipulate so that I could get somewhere. Well, guess what? I'm already here. And I was already there when I was trying to manipulate, like, it's so funny how I think that I can control and manipulate circumstances and people, and it's just not the case, so the ideas that hold these systems in place are the idols of fear and guilt we carry within us. We look for idols today that keep us from seeing ourselves and others as they are. A whole being made of love and light. We look for idols today that keep us from seeing ourselves and others as they truly are. Eventually, we stop looking for error and see mistakes as a cry for help, a cry for love and understanding. We all deserve to be saved from additional suffering, and that's what we do when we forgive ourselves and others. We are quick to forgive because we have work to do. Because God has placed something upon all of our hearts. All of us are here because we want to be here. We choose to be here. And that which we call God, that flow of life force energy, is focused through us for purposes that only we can fulfill, only Jill can fulfill, only Shauna can fulfill, only Arizona can fulfill, only Tina can fulfill. Each one of us are individualized, expressions of all that is. How beautiful is that? Nothing has to change in order for us to be that. And even when we don't know we're that, like some, maybe our families or people around us or, those that have forgotten who they are. And we're just now remembering who we are. We're remembering who we truly are. And that frees me from trying to control and manipulate, because it doesn't work anyway. Oh goodness. Okay, I'm preaching. And it's let me go to the top of the page. Okay, so once again, he's making commentary on A Course in Miracles, chapter 30, the New Beginning, section 6, the justification for forgiveness. And in these booklets that he created, he would just underline significant pieces in the paragraphs and then comment on that. So starting at the very first paragraph, he's underlined, anger is never justified. And then he comments that we get angry when we're confronted by something that conflicts with our beliefs. Then we build a fearful world. The real world of peace is still here. We just don't see it. Our response to the offense is to mitigate the effects, not deal with the error in perception. So that's the root of it. My perception. Let me deal with the error in my perception. And his question for us at this point is, what makes you angry? If you want to jot some things down in the chat, please feel free. It's so funny. I love it. Okay, then he goes on to the next paragraph. Pardon is always justified. And his commentary is, pardon means not believing in the effects of the error. That's what I was talking about before. Not believing in the effects of the error. So I made all these mistakes, all the way through I made some real mistakes, y'all. Mistakes. But were they mistakes? You know what I mean? Were they mistakes? Because here I am, remembering who I truly am. And that was part of the journey. Pardon means not believing in the effects of the error. Fear has no effects unless we participate and want them. Our response is most often about restricting bodies. Glenn used to have this phrase he would say, policing bodies through space. And we would laugh. We'd be like, walking down the street, and I don't know, he'd be complaining about, people walking the wrong way on the street or whatever it was, and I would like, oh, you're policing bodies through space, and then we'd have a big laugh about it, Of course, I did the same thing too, and he would always call it to my attention. We also think that we lose something by pardoning others. Wow. Have you ever considered that? I think that's why so I have a friend that I was real close to, and then he got really mad at me. Oh my God, yes, Tina says. He got really mad at me, and, many years later, I tried to have a conversation. Like, he wanted to get together for lunch. So we did, and, the reason he got together for lunch with me was to tell me Fuck your forgiveness. So, what do you do with that? It's just like, okay, you can hold on to whatever you want to hold on to. I can't force you to not hold on to it. And so that just, oh my God, that is just a funny thing. The real world is achieved when you perceive the basis of forgiveness is quite real and fully justified. Now, see, we don't think it's justified when we think that we lose something by pardoning others or forgiving others or surrendering to what is with others, In my own case with my brother, I just surrendered, I just left it all. I surrendered to what is. There was no communication, no relationship, da da da. I just surrendered to it. And I began doing that several years ago before Glenn died. And then now it's a miracle. I have the most loving, wonderful big brother. I'm so thrilled about it. The real world is achieved when you perceive the basis of forgiveness is quite real and fully justified. Okay, that's from Course in Miracles. And then Glenn comments, we can live in the real world of peace. We see our anger and desire to punish others as a request for help. This help must be for everyone and everything. And the question Glenn has for us right here is, are you keeping score? Wow. I was for a long, long time. And maybe, perhaps, I will uncover, there are other places with people in power and things like that in our country and this, that, and the other, where, I'm keeping score. And I don't know what anything is for. So what am I doing keeping score? Like, I don't know. I don't know what all this is for. Tina made a comment. Tina says, my ego loves to think it can judge others and hold forgiveness over someone's head. Yes. Thank God that is leaving. Yes. Yes. Yeah. My ego loves to think it can judge others and hold forgiveness over someone's head. That's, wow. Thank you for that comment, Tina. Okay, so moving on in the text, no one who sees himself as guilty can avoid the fear of God, but he is saved from this dilemma if he can forgive. And so I would say if he can surrender, and welcome and surrender. If one can do that, well, the perception shifts. And Glenn's comment is, the root of not forgiving is that we don't really believe God forgives us. Wow. We believe, well, the I am bad belief, Sometimes we obviously we think we're so bad that, God can't forgive us, or that, maybe God can, maybe we can be forgiven in every area except this one little area, right? Huh. Even that, with the willingness, just a little bit of willingness, or willingness to be willing, maybe it's that, the willingness to be willing to surrender that place that I'm holding on to so tightly, and I'm finding those places now, you know? Oh, sometimes I just want to have a grudge. Do you ever feel that way? You know? It just seems reasonable somehow. Oh, yes, Tina says. Oh, how funny. Okay. All right. There, let's see. He's got underlined. There is no sure proof. Idolatry is what you wish. Is what you wish. Then a belief there are some forms of sickness and of joylessness. Forgiveness cannot heal. Oh yeah, right. There's a place. Sometimes we believe that there's a place in us that cannot be healed. And his commentary says forgiveness shows us the real world. In the real world, we are healed and whole. Miracles are what cause this transition to us. Miracles. And what is a miracle? The willingness to be willing. That's a miracle. What we cannot forgive become idols of fear and require sacrifice and worship. Wow. What we cannot forgive becomes idols of fear and require sacrifice and worship. That's an astounding comment. I see that in myself because the sacrifice and worship comes in the form for me of constantly thinking about that person or whatever the situation is that can't be forgiven, because why should this person be forgiven for all, look at all the things they've done. And so it just keeps on and on and on and on. I have someone that calls me regularly to talk about the same thing over and over and over. The hurt that is caused by, his family. And every time he calls, it's the same conversation over and over and over. And in that vein, I can see by this statement that there's a sacrifice going on, a sacrifice of his own peace and a worshiping of the problem. Woo! Glenn's question for us here is there anything you cannot forgive? Oh, Shauna has a comment. Yes, grudges feed the false self. Yeah, it doesn't even want to let go. That's so true. And that's what I think I'm talking about here. It's just like, and that's the sacrifice and the worship. You don't even want to let go because there's something that feels good. There's some kind of satisfaction in holding that grudge, I mean, at least that's how it works for me. And I'm only beginning to understand this, there's some kind of satisfaction, and for me it's some kind of superiority. Like, if I hold this grudge, that means I'm better than you. Oh my God. Whoa. Yikes. Oh, I'm righteous anger. Yeah, self-righteous anger. Yeah. Ooh, that just got me. I'm like, okay. So Glenn goes on. He's underlined this in the next paragraph. This is, I think, the last paragraph. You must forgive God's Son entirely. Entirely. Huh. Oh, Tina says, yes, self-righteous anger. I used to get a high off of it. And Jill says, it is a form of punishment that I deal out to them for wronging me. Yes. Oh, we're getting it. We're seeing the blocks to love's awareness, y'all. Yes, we are. Yay, teachers of God. You must forgive God's Son entirely, or you will keep an image of yourself that is not whole, and will remain afraid to look within and find escape from every idol there. Okay. Glen's comment is, there is no in-between about real or not real, separation or wholeness, fear and love. We are always choosing between these for our experience. To be all we can be, we must forgive ourselves, others, and God as well. Salvation from our fears requires us to look at them. Oh, salvation from our fears requires us to look at them, to look at our fears. They take the form of guilt in ourselves. Question: what do you still feel guilty about? Interesting. Oh, okay. I see we're at the top of the hour. How exciting. Well, I guess I will leave with that question. Let's see. There may be one more little thing we want to say here. Oh yeah, let me finish with this from the very last paragraph in this section. Look on your brother with this hope in you, and you will understand he could not make an error that could change the truth in him. It is not difficult to overlook mistakes that have been given no effects. But what you see as having power to make an idol of the Son of God, you will not pardon. For he has become to you a graven image and a sign of death. Is this your Savior? Is his Father wrong about his Son? Or have you been deceived in him who has given you to heal? Our brothers have been given to us for healing, for your salvation and deliverance. Oh, yes, that's what I want to remember. Our brothers and sisters, those in our lives, have been given to us for our own salvation and healing. Blessings. Blessed be, and so it is. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Tina, and thank you for joining me today. Listen to the voice that likes you. She will tell you that we are one, and she'll tell you how to act like it. I love you guys. Thanks for joining me. Bye.